Body swap revenge, Normanications. A marriage betrayed. A story of betrayal, justice, and unexpected second chances. Today was my due date. After carrying triplets for 9 months, my belly had grown impossibly large, making sleep and movement a constant struggle. But when I woke up, my stomach was flat. Empty. Had I lost my babies? Cold sweat broke out across my skin as I sat up in panic. Instead of being in the hospital's maternity ward where I should have been, I found myself lying in a hotel bed. Beside me lay my best friend Rebecca, disheveled and fast asleep. Rebecca. I called her name. The moment I spoke, I covered my mouth in shock. The voice that emerged from my throat was deep and masculine, my husband Michael's voice. Rebecca rolled over without opening her eyes, murmuring drowsily, "Michael, baby, not again. I need more sleep." My mind went blank, as if struck by lightning. I stumbled to the bathroom on unsteady legs and stared at the mirror in horror. Michael's face stared back at me. I was wearing his body, and I had woken up in a hotel bed with Rebecca. What was happening? I tried to clear my foggy mind and remembered that before falling asleep, I had been clutching my phone, waiting for Michael's reply. He'd been working late and attending business dinners for days, barely coming home. With the baby due, I had hoped he could spend some time with me. But he had told me, "Jennifer, why do you think I'm working myself to death? 0, 6. It's all for you and the baby to have a better life. Be understanding and don't cause me trouble." I was an obedient, understanding wife who rarely bothered him. But on my due date, feeling frequent contractions, I had called him dozens of times. He hadn't answered a single call. I had comforted myself, thinking he must be in meetings or at business dinners. Turns out his business was rolling around in hotel sheets with Rebecca. To confirm my suspicions, I found Michael's phone on the nightstand. Sure enough, there were dozens of missed calls from Jennifer Morgan. Was this a dream? Everything felt so terrifyingly real. Just then, the phone rang, Jennifer Morgan, calling. I answered instinctively and heard my voice on the other end, panicked and screaming, "Jennifer, what's happening? Why am I in a hospital? Why am I in your body?" In that moment, I understood. Michael and I had switched bodies. I stared coldly at Rebecca sleeping in the bed. Her cheeks were flushed pink, with visible hickeys on her collarbone and chest. The air still carried a nauseating smell. I remembered that when Rebecca had visited me during my pregnancy, I had noticed similar marks on her collarbone. I had teased her then, dating someone new? Why didn't you tell me? Rebecca had blushed. The timing isn't right yet. I'll tell you when things are more settled. I had genuinely complimented her. "You're so beautiful. Your boyfriend must be quite handsome too." 0, 6. Michael had walked over then, feeding me sliced peaches, agreeing, of course. Rebecca's boyfriend should at least be as good as me. Rebecca's gaze had lingered on Michael's hand feeding me, and she had smiled. "That's not fair, Jennifer." If I could find a husband as wonderful as Michael, I'd have to thank my lucky stars. At the time, I was immersed in happiness, thinking I had found an enviable love story. I hadn't noticed the intimate looks they exchanged. Only now did I clearly realize the truth. My husband Michael had been cheating on me all along. I left the hotel and took a taxi straight to the hospital. In the maternity ward, Michael was already pale with pain, clutching his stomach, and curled up on the bed. "It hurts. It hurts so much. I can't take it." Sweat soaked his hair, and with each contraction, his body shook with tremors. Seeing me at the door, he used all his strength to shout, "Jennifer, standing there won't help. Find a way to switch us back. I can't handle this." If I hadn't known about his affair, I would have been heartbroken, wanting to take all his pain onto myself. But now, I simply stood there, calmly watching his suffering. "Honey, didn't you say you loved me?" Since you love me so much, surely you'd be willing to endure the pain of childbirth for me, right? I said slowly in his voice. Michael's fingers nearly tore the pillow. I was just saying that. I'm a man. How can I give birth for you? Now you're in my body, so the opportunity has come, I said, walking to his bedside and patting his shoulder consolingly. Suffer for me. Prove to me whether you truly love me or not. Haven't I loved you enough already? Michael exploded, unable to control his language. You've been pregnant, doing nothing at home while I provide for you food, clothes, a big house. How else do I need to prove my love? I withdrew my hand, looking down at him. Oh, really? Michael was terrified by my gaze, and finally, through his pain, gained a moment of clarity to realize a crucial issue. Jennifer, where were you when you woke up in my body? He asked, trembling and guilty. I looked deep into his eyes. Wherever you fell asleep, that's where I woke up. What do you think? As my words sank in, Michael's already pale face turned ashen. Jennifer, let me explain. It's not what you think. I replied calmly, Go ahead, explain. But he couldn't find words. She and I. It was just... Perhaps unable to come up with a decent excuse, he became so nervous that his breathing quickened, his belly hardened, and with an intense contraction, he let out a heart-wrenching scream. Aj! Nurses rushed in at the sound, lifted his dress to check. Water broke. Get him to delivery. The triplet mother is giving birth. Michael was wheeled into the delivery room, and I followed his family. He was trembling with fear, his teeth chattering audibly. I suddenly remembered when I was pregnant, I had worried about my large belly making delivery difficult, afraid something might happen to me on the operating table. What had he said then? Giving birth is just a quick thing. Other women have no problems. Why are you being so dramatic? Now that it was his turn, he was terrified. So I gently patted his hand and whispered in his ear, Don't be afraid, honey. You said before that this is just a quick thing. Other mothers have no problems. Don't be dramatic. Michael pressed his lips tight and trembled even more. The nurse probably thought I was comforting him and looked at me approvingly. It's rare for husbands to accompany their wives into delivery. Mr. N. Morgan, you're so good to your wife. I smiled and nodded, thinking I didn't actually care if Michael was in pain. I only cared about my own body's condition. If it were the real Michael, he would never have accompanied me into delivery. He couldn't even wait outside the delivery room, preferring to spend time with my best friend in a hotel. Ridiculously, I had always made excuses for him. He was busy with work, had many business dinners. He was always so hardworking. My understanding and tolerance had only earned me his increasing neglect. It hurts too much, doctor. I can't take it. Michael gasped with difficulty, barely squeezing out the words. I want a C-section. The doctor looked at me. Mr. Morgan, the patient's belly is indeed too large. A C-section would be appropriate. Previously, Michael had insisted I deliver naturally, saying natural birth would make the babies stronger and smarter. Even when doctors said natural delivery of triplets was too risky, Michael had ignored them. But now? Just as I was about to speak, the delivery room door burst open. Michael's mother stormed in aggressively. No C-section. She pointed at Michael accusingly. Jennifer Morgan, since getting pregnant, you've been lazy and useless, living off my son. Now you can't even handle a little pain from natural birth? Doctor, no C-section. It must be natural as originally planned. Michael's eyes widened. Mom, how can you say that? Michael hadn't realized his mother had always been like this. He'd just been the beneficiary before, pretending not to see. A nurse blocked Michael's mother. Ma'am, please leave. Only one family member is allowed in the delivery room. But Michael's mother acted as if she hadn't heard, stepping forward and pulling me away. Michael, she's just giving birth. Why do you need to stay? You're a designer who can't stand blood and mess. What if it ruins your inspiration? Come with me. Michael's mother dragged me out of the delivery room. Before the door closed, I looked back once. Michael's eyes held desperate helplessness and deep terror. Now he was finally experiencing firsthand a small portion of the pain I had endured all these years. Don't worry, there would be plenty more opportunities for him to experience it slowly. Michael eventually had a C-section. The triplet delivery was extremely difficult, and doctors worried that continuing would cause fetal distress and potentially be fatal for the mother. Still concerned about my own body, I signed the C-section consent form. Fortunately, everything went well in the end. Michael successfully delivered the triplets. All girls and both mother and babies were safe. Looking at the 3 little princesses in their cribs, I felt overwhelming happiness. Though I hadn't given birth to them personally, after carrying them for 10 months, I was already deeply attached. Michael's mother wasn't there temporarily. She found waiting for delivery too long and had gone to her square dancing group. When she returned after dancing, Michael had awakened. How is it? Where are the babies? Boys or girls? Michael's mother rushed into the room excitedly, immediately looking for the children. Michael lay weakly in bed. Mom, I just had surgery. Aren't you going to care about me at all? Michael's mother said dismissively, Oh, come on, every woman goes through this. You're a mother now, just endure this little pain. Michael's face stiffened, about to speak when his mother had already rushed to the baby beds. Oh, my 3 little treasures. She lifted the blankets covering the babies and took a close look. Her face immediately fell. You gave birth to 3 girls? She looked at Michael with resentful eyes. After all the good food and care, you produced 3 money losers. Money losers? Boys and girls are equally valuable. I frowned, about to object, but Michael spoke first. What do you mean, money losers? 0, 6. These 3 are flesh of my flesh, born after I nearly died giving birth. I was somewhat surprised. Previously, Michael had also hoped for 3 boys. The hormones of childbirth were truly magical. Experiencing it himself had even changed his mindset. But Michael's mother didn't care what he said, complaining to me, Michael, you just spoil her too much. Why did she need a C-section? This birth wasn't boys, and with a C-section, she'll have to wait 3 or 4 years before having more children. Plus, C-sections cost more money, your money. I looked at her expressionlessly, both chilled and grateful. Thank goodness it wasn't me suffering in the delivery room. Michael's face had turned white. Mom, how can you be so heartless? Actually, I'm not really. Seeing Michael about to reveal the body swap, I immediately interrupted. Jennifer Morgan! How can you be so inconsiderate arguing with your elder? Mom didn't mean it that way, you're just too sensitive after giving birth. Apologize to Mom quickly and let this go. I used Michael's usual tone, and my words left him stunned. What was so stunning? Michael, these were exactly your usual words for handling mother-in-law conflicts? As usual, with her son's support, Michael's mother became even bolder. An apology won't help. Can an apology give me back my 3 grandsons? She rolled her eyes impatiently. Whatever, my dancing partners are still waiting. I'm leaving. She walked away without looking back, never glancing again at Michael or the 3 babies. Michael sat dazed on the bed, closing his eyes in exhaustion. I looked at him mockingly. How does it feel? Is giving birth the simple little thing you said it was? Michael hung his head deeply, pleading in a low voice. Jennifer, I was wrong before. Now that the children are born, please switch back with me. I can't take it anymore. If I hadn't known about his affair, I would have been heartbroken, wanting to transfer all his pain to myself. But now, I just stood there, calmly observing his suffering. Honey, didn't you say you loved me so much? Since you love me that much, surely you'd be willing to endure childbirth pain for me, right? I said slowly in his voice. I spent some time organizing all of Michael's assets. His design studio had been thriving these past 2 years with substantial income. Just his various savings and investments totaled 800. I withdrew all this money and deposited it into a new offshore account. This way, whether or not I could switch bodies back, I'd at least have this money to rely on. I also needed to collect evidence of Michael's affair for future use. This was simple, since I had his phone after the body swap. Although Michael had deleted his chat history with Rebecca, professional data recovery could easily restore it. Plenty of inappropriate messages and explicit photos would prove the affair. As for Michael, he was now dutifully recovering in a postpartum care center. Expecting Michael's mother to care for him during recovery was nearly impossible. To help my body heal quickly and properly care for the 3 little princesses, I found him the best postpartum center and instructed the staff not to let him use phones, essentially cutting off his contact with others. Michael's mother occasionally visited him, mainly to cause stress. Michael was indeed obedient to get his body back. He endured without revealing the truth. So when I visited him at the center, I could hear his mother scolding from far away. "You're a mother now. How can you still not know how to breastfeed? You're leaking everywhere. The bedsheets are soaked." Michael looked numb, functioning as a feeding machine. With 3 babies needing milk and only 2 hands, one baby was always left crying while he fed the other 2. His mother continued, "You're such an incompetent mother. Can't you hear the baby crying? Don't you know to comfort her?" Michael closed his eyes in despair. "There are 3 babies, and I only have 2 hands." He looked like he was already suffering from depression. I felt a chill of fear. If I had been the one doing this feeding, I probably would have had a breakdown already. "Dear God, if we have to switch back, please let it be after the babies are weaned. I really don't want to suffer through this." When I returned to work at the studio, I discovered something shocking while reviewing the files. Several of Michael's acclaimed dress designs over the years were actually modified versions of my work. I found the most damning evidence when Rebecca handed me a design sketch, asking to wear it as the finale piece in Michael's upcoming personal fashion show. The design was identical to one I had created while pregnant. Every detail, every concept, everything was mine. I had shown it to Michael for professional feedback at the time. He had been dismissive. "Jennifer, this design is fine for personal sketching, but never let it out under the studio's name." I had been devastated. Is it really that bad? In college, professors said I had real talent. Michael had patted my head consolingly. "Don't be too upset. You haven't done design work since graduation. You've been handling finances, HR, and PR. It's normal for your skills to decline. Not everyone has a natural talent for fashion design like I do." His words had completely destroyed my confidence. I had thrown the design into the bottom drawer of my desk and focused on my pregnancy. I never imagined that this design, once scorned by Michael, would become the centerpiece of his fashion show, with the signature changed from Jennifer Morgan to Michael Morgan. I was furious, my lips pressed into a tight line. "So Michael, you not only cheated on me, but also stole my work." Now that he was an acclaimed fashion designer, once these pieces were shown, probably no one would believe me, even if I talked myself hoarse. Michael must have counted on this, plus my previous deep love for him, to dare act so brazenly. I developed a plan for the perfect revenge. Using my position as Michael, I arranged for the fashion show to proceed exactly as Rebecca wanted. She would model both the opening and finale pieces. The show was a sensation. My designs, showcased through Rebecca's modeling, received enormous praise from industry veterans. But at the crucial moment of victory, I took the microphone. "Thank you for the praise, but I must clarify something. The opening and finale dresses weren't designed by me. They were designed by my wife, Jennifer Morgan." The audience erupted in whispers and gasps. The industry veteran who had praised the work was furious, shameful. Jennifer Morgan is a talented designer wasted by you. People like you don't deserve to be designers. This public humiliation was exactly what I wanted. The veteran calling me a talented designer paved the way for my future comeback. That night, design industry headlines were all about Michael's scandal. Personal fashion show uses wife's stolen designs. Husband claims wife's work as his own. Mysterious designer Jennifer Morgan, who is she? Rebecca achieved her dream of making headlines, just not in the way she wanted. The next day, I released all the evidence of their affair to the media. Photos and messages between Michael and Rebecca went viral, adding another layer to the scandal. Rebecca confronted me furiously, but I revealed the truth about our body swap. At the divorce proceedings, when she realized she had been intimate with me in Michael's body rather than Michael himself, her rage was spectacular. "So you're really, Jennifer, living in Michael's body?" she demanded. 0, 6, I nodded, enjoying her anger. How's that for a surprise? All those times you threw yourself at me, that was actually me, your dear friend. When Michael begged me to reveal how to switch back after he signed the divorce papers, I smiled and told him the truth. I don't know how. What do you mean? He demanded. I promised to tell you everything I know about switching back. What I know is that I know nothing. Michael was furious. You tricked me. I gave birth for you, breastfed, recovered. How could you do this to me? I laughed. Why shouldn't I? This body swap was heaven's way of letting me punish you both? As I walked away from the courthouse with the divorce decree, Rebecca lunged at me in fury. Give me back my Michael, she screamed, pushing me toward the courthouse steps. Just as I was about to fall down the 100-step staircase, I felt a strange sensation. When I opened my eyes, I was safely sitting at the top of the steps back in my own body. At the bottom of the stairs lay Michael's broken body. We had switched back just as he took the fall meant for me. Epilogue: Michael survived, but with 2 broken hands, his design career effectively over. Rebecca was sentenced to 5 years for assault, her modeling career destroyed during what should have been her prime years. Michael's mother spent her days caring for her son, who resented her constant presence. As for me, I became a successful single mother of triplets with my own thriving design studio. The scandal had made my name famous, and with the industry veteran's endorsement, I quickly established myself in the fashion world. I had money, a career I loved, freedom, and my 3 precious daughters born without me feeling any of the pain. Sometimes the most difficult experiences are just processes that make life more beautiful. After surviving the hardest times, everything ahead is a path lined with flowers. Sometimes justice comes in the most unexpected ways. Sometimes the universe gives us exactly what we need to reclaim our power.